the thing. Like, it's such a nice roster on the side of gaming team. Love the fact that they've called themselves gaming team because it's very cute. But they're going at Secret Academy, and Secret Academy, they have a lot to prove here. Not sure if they're still working under Draz either. I'm assuming that they are, but I haven't really heard anything else. But again, kind of having a really competent coach during that kind of combine season was really useful for them. It just, again, they just weren't able to keep it together in that finals event, and then they weren't able to maybe make Rumble because of how that went. Who knows? There's a lot of there's a lot of question marks above the Secret Academy side at the moment. And again, in terms of qualifiers and like qualifying even into this tournament, like they didn't win any of the qualifiers. I think they came third right at the weekend. To actually get into this. So very last minute, they were able to get in. It is a redemption arc for them. It is redemption time. They need to hit the ground running. They need to prove that all of that all chat speak they were doing in Combine, all of the way they were acting towards everyone else, like they need to prove that they've got, they can put their money where their mouth is, and they can play good Siege, and they can win everything.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of experience on both these rosters, and that is letting us to become an amazing matchup, hopefully, between these two teams. For me, this is another bit of a full circle moment. I've played Siege with Sleben back then as well. He's also played in the Benelux, believe it or not, multiple occasions. And I played ranked with Rawa. Never did I think that I was going to be casting a game where Rawa was playing, but here I am today.
I'm here for. I love, like, honestly. Rawa, along with Steno, right? I touched on Steno at the start of the night. Rawa's another one of those players where you're like, there's so much potential here. Why is he not getting an opportunity? Won't someone give him an opportunity? God damn it. Again, being in this roster, the vibe should be high, the play should be high. Very excited to see what they do have.
Very excited as well, as the first minute is about to pass, and Lems might find himself picked up. No, not quite yet. Rawa had him in his dead track in the air jab there. Eventually, it is Sleben who will find a kill, find 2 kills. Oh, look at that. Suddenly, Gaming Team has found themselves and hit the grounds running. Frey kill will come through. Not quite sure what that Nitro was supposed to hit, but it got shut down before it actually did anything. Finding ourselves in that 4v3. Now, reading room, dining room is the actual site we have to go through. Usually that means that this top 4 is going to be completely ripped open in terms of verticality. It's exactly what is being done by Denster right now with that sledge, making sure that the site itself is going to be almost unplayable for the defense, forcing them to play the exterior, the pillars, and try and rotate up, which is exactly what's happening right now with Martin, as Sleben finds themselves a 3rd kill before being shut down. The ace denied. However, Martin spots a player up top, gets Denster, knows about the player on the pillar as well, but instantly digs himself in safety, doesn't want to stick around for too long, as he's now the last man standing on his roster, on his team, has to go aggressive because otherwise this plant is going to go down, and Dust will decide to go towards the site. They know where he is because a gunfight has just exchanged bullets, but the plant is also a fact. 45 seconds, Leighton is out of the building, Rawa will get his head removed, but it's a one-on-one right now, and that second player, that last player, is in an upside down rappel, so it's going to be very difficult to actually take this player out. Leighton just has to play this safely. However, if this is long armed, he has to rappel in to get the kill, and that's just a freebie for Martin. No, why do you swing? You just had to wait for him to come inside.
Leighton. And how many times do we see that actually happen, ladies and gents? We do not really see that often. Someone going for the rappel, the swing in, and they're able to secure the kill regardless. Bit of an undersight from Marta there. He's going to be kicking himself, not being quick enough on the draw. Maybe, again, that's where you need to go for that pre-fire spray and pray. And not even wait till you get those pixels in your line of sight. You just go for it, swing aggressively. Goodness me, again, Gaming Team not only winning that first round, getting objective, getting the plant down, and then securing it in the post TP. What a great start for them.
Great round to come through, but still a little bit like, why did you run in? It's like you could have just waited for, you heard him rappel, you heard him push in. And, okay, well, I'm not gonna go into this too much. Either way, round 2 will be started. I'm about to join the dark side myself after trying to get you to go there.
It's inevitable, I fear. It's inevitable. At some point during this season, we're all just going to lose our minds collectively.
Place a gate in position.
Oh, off to the next round then. Hoping to see some more nice plays. Now, the drones are coming through. Quick openings being made as well. I'm not quite sure if that was a window upstairs. Yeah, it must have been because the bakery is still closed. Drones are being put in position, of course, to stop any of those flanks from coming through. Seeing if anybody's still around the balcony. I mean, we are playing all the way up towards that top floor. It wouldn't be too crazy to think of someone playing around in the actual area itself. Trying to actually zap a Rooney there.
Ooh, good night, Linku. Getting a little cheeky freebie down to Leighton. Gonna hightail it out of there and just... I'll go for a repeat, of course. Once you've got a pick like that from the window, it's best to play a little bit more safer, of course. Being on that top floor and having those keeper barriers that allows you to create a little bit of a safety net for yourself. Loads to hide behind. Gone are the days where you had to faff about in Pixel with a little shield. Now that we've got Azami and those keepers. Marto attempting a run. I'm not sure what info he had there. But he was kind of pushed back a bit by those air jabs. That's told him to behave himself somewhat.
Always a bit of a slap on the wrist when you get blasted back and you somehow still survive because no one was ready to pick you up.
Yeah.
Slabin with the shield, throwing the keeper barrier. This is always the tricky part. When an Azami is up, you're playing the top floor, you just know that Piano is going to be an absolute fortress you have to battle through. Slabin is not looking forward to actually going out there. Zarava taking a bunch of shots through the window, not quite sure where it actually came from, is aware of the fact that a run out might happen. Look at this, the game sense is there. Martin comes out, misses the shots onto Urawa. Takes a little bit of damage, but he's gonna go for a second attempt. Again, gets spotted out. Jax will find Slabin. Good round for Team Secret Academy at this point though, as they find themselves with 2 up. There's still a lot to play for. 38 seconds still. Basically on the fence though, considering the positions of the attackers.
Guess we're gonna be careful. Linku getting caught off guard. They'll know at least where Denster is lurking. Again, this is where they need that additional pick to come through. But Rawa is gonna fall down. Denster's gonna fall as well. Shed in no way is gonna be. They hear those bullets. They just have to hide. Don't have to worry too much. Maybe he can get a cheeky little exit pick here if everyone's being over-aggressive and bullshit like this. But no, Alems is going to be the one to deal with him. A great old clap back there on the side of Secret Academy.
Walked underneath the bullets before finally shut down.
But this is... Right. They are going to start getting aggressive, and I respect it, right? Because it's like, okay, Cafe... Lots of opportunities for Spawn Peak still. Lots of opportunities to run out. Lots of opportunities to just be super in their faces. And I think that's something that, you know, gaming team need to be mindful of because, you know, such is the nature of the beast when it comes to Cafe at times, especially with a team like this where you've got what is essentially a French Death Stag. Expecting the French Death Stag to not be aggressive on Cafe, okay.
I mean, you could just stop them, like, expecting the French Death Stag to not be aggressive. We didn't even have to add Cafe to it.
And that is very valid. That is very valid. It's why I'm actually quite excited to see if Secret Academy do actually make playoffs, because again, it might increase the amount of border we actually see getting played, because we know the Frenchies love a cheeky little bit of border.
Is that your only reason why you want them there? It's for
yes, but yeah, essentially, yeah, because we didn't get to see much of it during Rumble.
Well, I have good news for you. Everybody will be making playoffs, Grace.
They will indeed. No eliminations in this group stage. It does put people on a little bit of a kind of investigation stage, shall we say, when it comes to this group stage. You can put your feelers out, you can work out what everyone's doing, how everyone's playing, what kind of shenanigans are happening in that mid-round. Speaking of shenanigans, Rawa. Oh dear. Get down cold outside in the snow. Jax, beautiful pick to the face of Denster. Jax has been traded though. Great work from Shed. 3 versus 4. Ninku not looking too healthy, but again has that shot. He can just sit around the corner if he wishes to.
Great opening once again for Team Secret Academy, finding those 2 kills. Of course, I mean, you lose Jax and you lose access to those evil eyes in terms of the actual zapping ability. But still, good start for them. Fuser has been recovered. Big worry for them is still, of course, that shield that is around there. Will have to be dealt with sooner rather than later. They have opportunities to do that with 3 smoke canisters, 3 nitro cells. Shouldn't be too worried about that shield. Link is still playing up top because there is no vertical control coming in from the side of gaming team. Has the opportunity to just shut down preparation, to just shut down that one breach that is already in the wall. And those are the 2 entry points that Layton and Shed will look to take. Linko gets shut down by Slemon before Marto gets it. Now the big question is, do they retake that verticality? As we do see the rotation coming in from gaming team, realizing that they no longer have the security up there, having to go through Freezer instead.
Gotta be careful because there's always gonna be that default player around VIP. In this case it is Frenchie with those toxic babes, and that's given enough time for Lems to come and get close to Brown. Get close to Whiskey. And apply that pressure as a duo. So we've got 2 kind of duo plays in the midst, but we still have Marto walking around on red, and that's where the danger threat factor is. Ooh, Secret all rotating to that side. Could leave them a little bit exposed in some areas, but Shed choosing to go down Brown stairs now. He is going to try and contest towards VIP and Whiskey. Will it be a distraction? Again, Layton being on white. Ooh, there we go. C4 to the face. Layton on left. Essentially on his 1. Has to try and do something. Flashes himself. That's not a great start to try and catch out a 1 versus 3. The rest of Secret Academy just holding these angles, holding these pixels. They don't have to do much. Just wait for him to come into your sight line. There we go. Marto waiting in the freezer like a bag of cold peas. Gets that final pick.
I mean, the defuse was also down at that point. It was just little to nothing that could have been done with the time, and still having to fight those 3 players on those different positions. The Secret Academy finding themselves that second round quite comfortably as well. All started off with the spawn peek on Roa, then getting themselves a quick second as well. And from there on, they're just in control. Nothing really more to note about it. As Blackbeard gets banned, I think you can understand that, considering the fact that it has had quite some impact on the attack, even though it might not have translated to rounds. The Valkyrie is always a nice takeaway, considering the amount of information that can be gained, and has been gained. Arthur's been playing around on that operator for the last couple of rounds. Does it go to mining dining now? Is it engine, technically?
It's a nice little setup that they're bringing as well, because they've got obviously the Rooney gates that's going to allow them to kind of really slow down their gaming team on their approach, alongside the kind of wombo combo of the Mozzie and the Mute together to deny a lot of info. When you deny info, it slows things down further. You've got the Spec IO, so you yourself can work out what kind of push they're going to try and go for, slash where those flank drones may be, and deny more information from their hands. Information denial is always key when you are an aggressive team, right? If they don't know where you are and you're able to just basically have a field day and just dive around these doorways, swing yourself out of windows, be really in their faces, and then when they're trying to go for that trade, they don't have the info to go for it, so you can go back into an obtuse angle and just be like, well, try and find me and I'll get a follow-up. Love the way that Secret play, and again, I think it's really nice to see them actually scrap their way into South Breach, because I do think I want to see that redemption from them. I think it was very, very disappointing the way that things ended in Combine.
Just has to be put apart for these kind of plays. Taking a bit of damage here. Shed trying to go in quick, instantly trying to go for the kill into Frenchie, will successfully do so. However, in the meantime, 2 lost on his own team, bringing it back to a 3-on-3, make that a 3-on-2. Team Secret Academy is bolstering the rush. The Nitro Cell putting Shed to just the brink of death as he finds himself on 1, and Rawa just now entering the building, trying to provide support, will be coming up from white stairs. They are adjacent to the site itself. They have the diffuser. The issue is that they do not have all the other control that is required to go for this plant as one comes down from the wide stairs. A smoke grenade used to try and stop them from moving it. He sees the head. Rawa instantly removes it, and now the plant will be attempted. The cover is there, but there is also pressure from below. As Shed gets down, the drop comes in from Rawa. However, he's now alone. He's going to go for the pickup of Shed. They see this happening, and it's instantly just confirmed. Mardo with a quick kill there onto Shed to make sure he's not finding himself in a 2-on-1 situation. Keeps himself alive. Make sure it's just Rawa alive as well. And the shotgun is not going to be helping him on long range. Swapping over towards the pistol. Martin playing behind the bomb chassis. Accuracy is required now from Rawa to make sure that this shot lands. He cannot keep rotating forever. He might have one more in his pocket as the pre-fire comes in, but the Roni does not quite have that big of a magazine count. With 45 seconds, there's that rotate I spoke of. He has the opportunity to do this, but it's being read as well. Rawa, as he rotates over towards brown, no, actually towards white, is Martin that is setting himself up on a passive angle as well. Rawa with the pistol, able to secure the kill, and gaming team find themselves a second round.
Rawa, the man, the myth, the legend, securing it by the skin of his teeth. It's not every day that we see a player like that. Really does often go a bit more weighted into the defender's hands at that point. Again, it was some good reads from Marco, to be honest, because I wasn't really sure of the info on the cams that were coming through. A lot of the cams were kind of on that middle floor, so very well played from Marto to at least be like, okay, there's too much faffing here. It's clearly rotated to white. This was great as well, just denying from below, but then also again Marto just having the initiative to be like, I need to make sure this isn't a 2v1, right? So again, both sides playing really well in those final moments. Love the fact the gaming team are trying to force the objective a lot as well. When they have the opportunity to, they are trying to go for it, and I really respect that.
I just like the full send through the hatch. Well, also your teammate is down, and I mean his shield is on his back, so he's quite safe actually from that shotgun in that situation. And whilst they're trying to get that vertical kill confirmed, Rawa just sends it through the hatch, gets that kill, and instantly gets his teammate behind it. And they didn't want to revive right underneath the hatch, which rightfully so, to try to actually move into a bit of safety, but wasn't allowed to do it as we mentioned before. Here's a drone. So 2-2. Pretty even half so far, even though it seemed like Team Secret Academy was in charge for most of the half so far.
I don't know how it feels sometimes when it comes to Cafe and like attacker decider win rates, defender win rates, sorry, because it's again, it really is dependent sometimes on the util that is brought on both sides, to be honest. It's still very much plays into the same vibe, but since the obviously addition of the new balconies, people repelling is a lot more effective on that eastern side, right? So I want to see maybe gaming team going for something a little bit like that, just to clear some space. We did see Rawa kind of repelling the first time that we went to this site, to be honest, but it didn't quite work as effectively. It was immediately shut down, and it left this very awkward one-dimensional push. That is the difficulty with Cafe sometimes. You're very limited on where you can send kind of one person by themselves, because it's just a giant square essentially, isn't it? If one person falls down on that one side where you're trying to apply that additional pressure from, it's difficult to send someone the whole way for a rotation to basically pick up the pieces there. So you have to be careful. Now it's a great start. Linku going down. No more keepers to be thrown out. And it hasn't been traded. Shed getting aggro here. Down into train. Desperately trying to find the Lems. There we go. Gets him. This is a great start right now for gaming team Hap.
Finally gets traded out, but I mean, he already did his job. Found 2 of those kills. Lems might have gone a little bit too aggressive there with the amount of HP he had, as the incendiary bolts are coming through, but French is still allowed to play in his current position. The grenade will force him to at least jump up, and that will create a little bit of a blind moment here that gaming team could try and utilize to get themselves into a position to work for the plant. As the fire extinguisher gets extinguished, it is Sleben that is repelled up on the opposite side of the window. I think they're trying to get Frenchie out of his position, just close towards that door. As soon as the Repelion comes in, he's going to try and swing that door. So that's when they need Layton to be in position to shut him down. To find that kill quite freely. Jax is still playing around in the freezer. He's basically making Piano unplayable. Marto being a buffer for that area as well. So if they do manage to find this kill, actually, bait not taken, and Frenchie stayed put, that means the plant is now going down. Do they have knowledge of this? Yes, they do! It was right next to the bar. I'm not quite sure why they thought that would go well. And now Rama is alone in a 1v2 with 10 seconds left, Grace. And there's almost nothing that he's going to be able to do except for just trying to frag it out. And as he doesn't find either, he gets shut down, and Secret Academy find themselves with their third round of this matchup.
It's interesting too to see Secret kind of behaving themselves in these moments a bit more as time's going on. You know, they're holding these crossfires nicely, albeit a little bit exposed at times, but they're holding them nonetheless, and that's allowing them to not kind of feed into the age-old trick at T2 where everyone accidentally forces themselves into 1v1s and gets very swiftly cleaned up. So it's really nice to see Secret kind of having that self-control right now. You know, gaining the lead now as well. Last round of their defense though, and that's where it's like, okay, they really need to secure this 4th round, because I do think Gaming Team are going to make things a little bit trickier on attack. Granted, Secret being quite an aggressive team when it comes to their own attacks, they should be able, well, I guarantee, unless we see the bans come through, we'll see a mountain of shields come out. But it's a nice place for both sides to be on right now. Of course, we're going a little bit old school here. But coming out maybe from Denster. No buggy just yet. The Clutch Drones. The Clutch Drones are always an interesting one because I think with especially Cathay and Chalet, right? You can get house cams so quickly with very minimal danger to yourself, and you can get a lot of information fed to you. Of course, the Maestro being brought out by Jax is going to be a really nice thing for Secret to have. So if the Clutch Drones could do something about that, that's going to be quite lovely as well. It means that the cameras are going to be less impactful. You only have to worry about the Elder at that point, which again, a formidable foe in its own right. And of course, yes, you've got the 2 SAS operators, so there's going to be a lot of shotgun action happening in those close quarters. So there's a lot here for Secret to play with in terms of, you know, the gun utility they're bringing, but you've got to consider, again, the way that they're slowing down that information from the side of Gaming Team.
Marto is ready with a nitro cell. Just waiting for the hatch to be opened up by either a Shed or Denster. It's just instantly going to throw it afterwards. I'm not quite sure if they're actually going to take that, if they're just going to open up that hatch. Because Denster's in a really good position right now. Just spotted out the feet, but he's also aware that someone is at the bottom of red stairs. So he's kind of finding himself in a position where he cannot really commit to either. Marto will decide to go for a different way down. Over the balustrade. Back towards that ground floor. Or first floor. So now we're on the ground floor. It's no basement. Chem just said it. Something that always got me. For a long while. This is the only map without a basement. As the entry has been made in the meantime.
Physicality being established now by Denster. Goldie better Goldie, of course. The more that you work and open up those floorboards, the more you push for defense away from that site into more difficult positions. But then again, you need that rotation downstairs from Gaming Team right now to start to try and pick people off. It's not coming through just yet. Again, it's very default from Secret. We have Frenchie in VIP. We have Linku in coat. Lems around brown. They know exactly where these players are going to be. It's not going to be too difficult, regardless of if you've got the information or not. You can assume people are going to be in default places.
Resource converted.
Oh, missed opportunity there for Denster. Someone run by now with 40 seconds left. They need to start putting numbers on the board. Why Secret Academy walking away with that 4th round of this half. smoke canisters used, stopping the drop from the freezer, keeping them at bay at least temporarily. 20 seconds left on the clock. The plant being attempted in the meantime by Shed. Where is the cover? Is there no one aware of the fact that this is happening? 45 seconds counting down, 2 kills as well in favor of Gaming Team. And as they're all just exiting right now, they have the opportunity to play this vertically. Impacts are being tossed in, not quite connecting to anything whatsoever. Shed slowly swinging around the corner, catches Jax whilst reloading. And now with 26 seconds left, another to be found. And Linko, the last link in the chain here for Team Secret Academy in this round. There's not enough time for him to clear what's needed and to go on in a flawless round. By the side of Gaming Team, putting themselves up to 3-3.
Go on, Shed lad. That's the stuff we love to see. Again, we wanted to see not only a redemption arc from Secret Academy, but there was a big factor during Rumble where it was like, are we gonna see a lot of these boys that had these stints in APAC, will they start to sail through and have a good time with it? Shed is one of those players where he is just gonna go for it. Literally the definition of odds on, and I respect that. Again, you've got the plant down, you've got the objective secured, you're in a very difficult position, but you're still like, okay, I've got a smoke ahead of me, it's blocking that double door, around the corner is a player, I'll swing him. It was the Maestro, I believe, so that could have been really, really dangerous, but thankfully, because it was the Maestro, he was trying to hold on to these longer angles. He wasn't really thinking about the tiny little crouch peek that Shed ended up doing, and that really was the start of the end for Secret Academy there, because then Shed just cleaned up house. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff.
You like to see it, as man walked in, got the plant, got 3 kills I believe as well in that round, so just checking all the boxes.
Reload.
And now as we're swapping sides,
Wall secured.
the rules are reversed. Quite excited to see how this one will pop out. When Cafe just re-entered the map pool, we were of course always talking about like how defense-sided it was, like 5-1 usually what you would be looking at. It changed over time. It also changed when all these teams, of course, like new operators came out, teams practiced more, got more balanced. I think generally you would still say it's a 4-2 for defense, especially when you have Azami on the board. And I mean, you saw what was happening with those keeper barriers, especially on that top 4. It makes it so hard to attack. Surprise, it's not actually yet. Actually, we're not playing up there, but there is an extension up there. Expected maybe to see him there as well. Oh, I like this. Stopping them from using an Ash charge and actually destroying the mirror with that. Using the Surya Laser Gate for that.
Already, again, applying phantom pressure on some of these windows. The White Corridor, Piano Room itself. Expecting this as well, just to kind of hold people back if they are going for an old flanker Rooney. The pressure going towards that Shaiko position as well. Loads of options here for Secret. They got the Sens, they got the Capital, they got the Grimbies. Already making light work of setting up using that gridlock. Interesting thing for me here is that, again, for the Gaming Team, there's a lot of lines of sight that they can use to be very, very difficult to contest. However, the X-Kairos popping open that piano wall. There's a bit more pressure on whoever's going to be trying to contest around that pixel doorway. Because that's a real nice free entry into that Christmas area. Right now, Secret, it seems like they're picking a lot of breathing space, considering.
Oh.
There we go.
I'm French if you're not instantly leaning back into the fight as he saw the person retreat, because you never know who's gonna fire first. Be ashamed to lose your life to that. Trying to desperately take out Shed, will be found. Danster will be found as well. Slebin gone quite low, his rotation back towards the side. Lems just jumping down from the window, instantly putting up such big pressure, and hey, look at that, there's another player still upstairs. Instantly shut down by Frenchie. His entire hold just fell apart within seconds of Lems jumping down from the window. and finding 3 kills and almost a 4th. Slebin just barely escaped with his life.
I'm reloading.
Now 40 seconds are left for them to work on verticality to isolate and locate the last 2 players. Slebin is on a big rotate. He's going to probably try and end himself up somewhere in the pillars area so he can shut them down or at least work for a flank. Because Layton is fully aware of the fact of what's about to happen. They're going to try and plant right behind the bookshelf. And as he gets shut down, it's all up to Slebin now, but his head gets removed right through the railing. And the first round of the second half will go to the French squad of Secret Academy.
Yeah, I was freezing from Secret, I'm not gonna lie. Like, again, the fact that they were able to just clean up so quickly, so effectively. Beautiful pinches, again, this is the key factor. They're not just going into these 1 versus 1s, they're establishing these crossfires together, they're establishing this pressure from multiple dimensions. It's such an oldie but a goldie when it comes to the kind of deeper fundamentals you need when it comes to map clearance in Siege. It's the kind of thing that kind of puts you apart from everyone else, really. You know, too many people try and just go into 1v1s and it's like, why? You're making it more difficult for yourself. Love that from Secret. And again, a flawless to start things off on their attacking half. Denari plays coming out from Rawa. Let's see where he's plonking this down.
1, 2, 3. That's it, I think.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of cover there.
Yeah, it's okay. So he's trying to stop the main door and then also block the bakery window a little bit.
I like the small bakery window play because again that's such a common jump in that people do, especially, you know, nowadays people bring the sends, for example. Marty's brought the sends out. They use that sends to cut off the line of sight from Whiskey, for example. If you're playing bottom brown or around Whiskey, it's really difficult if a sends just suddenly pops a wall up and then everyone starts jumping in and they kind of flood into bakery. So it's a nice little bit of cover to have there. It might force things into other dimensions of position, sorry, somewhat, but we'll see what actually ends up happening.
Reload.
It's not going to straight up kill people, but it will slow them down just a little bit. Still has 1 in pocket. Actually, just deployed his last 2. Not quite sure where they put them, but that's fine. We'll find out later. As Link already is finding himself up all the way up at the top 4. Gonna try and quickly work his way down. Now the big question is someone around on that middle area? And we know, of course, that isn't the case. I mean, Lems is already finding himself in train, and with a player on white as well, you can almost assume that it's going to be empty if there's no movement being found. The drones will probably have confirmed that by now as well, as verticality has commenced.
Wanting our util as well, that's very important. Gonna put less annoyances in the way, so to speak. The hatches will be opened. And they've dealt with Rawa. So opening pick under the belt. Is a trade coming through? Not quite, but Jax will fall. As Buggy might have already done some collateral, though, again. They already have verticality established, and Lems has that bug, has that skeleton key. So you can keep applying pressure. It just makes it a little bit more dangerous for him, doesn't it?
We'll make it slightly, yes. Very experienced player in the Lems. He's rotating around, holding downstairs, knowing that something could pop up there. I mean, with all the verticality there as well, you are going to be aware of the fact that the side is just safe, right? There's no one out there, which means that there's only just a couple of places they can be. That's exactly what they're trying to hold on to now, just to hold those angles. And as the plant's being attempted, they need to move. Yokais are not actually going to be there in time. They cannot find it, and the plant is down. However, this is a 2-on-4 situation, and as the stun comes in, it comes back to a 1-on-4 situation. The verticality is everywhere, though, and Linko gets shut down. In Gaming Team, they find themselves with a 4-4. With a bit of a team kill. I think someone else wanted the credit. Oh, yeah, no, okay. You have one more opportunity of doing this. Oh, they're gonna take it, aren't they?
I think Leighton's AFK, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm afraid for a second that they might have gone for the team kill as well there. I'm not quite sure how that's going to be ending up on the stat page, but
no, I mean that's it. Like it's just, but this is exactly what we spoke about, right? Okay, yes, that round very very good by Gaming Team to be able to pull that back, right? However, you could just see the vibes behind the scenes with goofy little things like that. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. We look at that roster. There's, in terms of like player ability, very capable players, very, very competent players with a lot of different mixed experience in a roster. Again, I hope Dentster gets the world one day, but the thing is, I just know that they're having fun. I know that even if they're there's times maybe in this tournament where they have their back up against a wall, I know they're going to be having fun the whole way through. And sometimes that can really make or break a team. It's not just, you can be the best player in the world, but if the mental's not there, then things will rapidly fall apart. You got to have the good vibes going at all times, and the goofiness and the silliness.
If you're the best player in the world and you don't have the mental, then I hate to break it to you, but you're not the best player in the world.
Precisely that. So true, so real.
It is mental, it's mechanical, and it is the brain. All of it together.
Exactly. I'll just be a one-trick pony. Shed bringing out the Scopos. Pantheon Shield's going to give a lot of flexibility and movement throughout the map. I'd like to see people get a little bit rattier with the Scopos. We have seen some nice things thus far throughout the circuit this year. South Breach, of course, being the last opportunity for those big doggy dog plays. That's where I want to see things get a little bit more feisty. Again, I think this will be a little bit more default from Shed. Nothing too unorthodox, shall we say.
A little bit of damage done. Oh, takes out the kill. Probably goes for the swap instantly afterwards. Go back to full HP. Get himself out of the area that he's currently in. Oh no, still sticking around for now. Swapping. See, I'm going to be asking you a question now. If you swap shells, does your ammo stay the same? I don't actually notice. From your main gun.
I don't actually know. I think it stays the same.
If you're swapping with 16 rounds, do you then have a full magazine again if you swap shells?
You'd think because it's two different robots, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It would.
So I'm thinking it would. Okay, but I'm asking too many
we're getting gaslit by robots now. Excellent. Excaris being utilised to open up more space, getting rid of those keeper barriers. Grimby's around the corner just to make sure they have a little bit of breathing room as Marto makes his way into the lounge. Sends Disc can go out too, just to cut off lines of sight. You got to be careful with Cafe, especially that top floor. Massive, massive lines of sight that can be held against you. So safety first really is the best option. Ooh. I wasn't very safe from Jax, to be honest. Immediately trade after dealing with Rauer. Leighton, a follow-up onto Linku as well. It's all looking great right now for Secret. 2 versus 4. Coming in on the back foot. Interesting walls being created by the Sens there as well.
It's not going to be really too useful right now. Some of the drones stuck in few jammers as well. Okay. Goodbye, head. What's it to Frenchie? Martin now the last man standing. Here's the Nitro. Blows up right underneath him. He's going to be aware of his position right now, but walks into a crossfire as soon as he tries to get the very first kill. Gaming team find themselves another round. That brings us to a 4-5. Gaming team leading situation. 2 more rounds away from locking up this first map. But first, another set of bans.
I assume the Azami will be banned here, but we will see. No, it's going to be the Mirror. I mean, that also makes sense. Again, Mirror on Cafe, a tale as old as time. You kind of expect it, don't you?
You definitely do. I mean, there's a lot that can be done with that Mirror. Architect, Operator, of course. Always used to be one of my favorites to work with. A true Mirror main. As a roaming Mirror main. Might be the worst. It's full 5. I mean, Secret Academy did that first round they played looked pretty good up until they went for that plant. I'm talking about the second half. That's when it kind of just fell apart. Down below, that is. The one upstairs was beautiful. It was just a complete lockdown. But then when we went towards the ground floor, everything just fell apart as soon as they tried that plan. And then Gaming Team in that previous round also just in complete control. And I said it before, 4-2 is usually the split you would be looking at in terms of rounds on the board for defense attack. So Gaming Team does have, historically, statistically, however you want to put it, a small advantage. But results in the past, so no guarantee for the future. Things can change.
Setting deterrent. Magnets ready.
A lot of safety first utility being brought out from Gaming Team, actually. You know, we didn't see a lot of kind of Wamai and Jaeger being brought out at the same time for a while. It's kind of starting to come back a little bit now. Mostly due to like everyone and their nan bringing, you know, Capitao, Ying, Grimbees. Of course, Grim is banned now. That was the final ban the Gaming Team were able to do on this defensive half.
Activated trap. Thermal breach set. I need to reload.
It does kind of imply that they want to hold back a lot of potential utility secret may be bringing. I don't know how much bang for their buck they're going to get using those buggies as well. We'll see
Phone
as
still
time goes
ringing.
on.
Sorry. Is the phone still ringing? The shots are ringing through as well. First entry still waiting to be found. It's a little bit of a peekaboo kind of game up until Marto. Just found Denser, not quite sure what happened. Seemed to be somewhere around the Christmas door. And this gives the opportunity for Team Secret Academy to work their man advantage if it wasn't for Leighton. Securing it back. Bit of damage done towards Rawa, but nothing more than that. Top floor is within sight. Kills are coming down either way. It is a very scrappy round from both these teams. As a run out was attempted but did not quite connect. And as Jax is running around the corner on Repel. There's still a bunch of Repels holding on, but Frenchie, as he finds one, leaves it to just 2 Gaming Team members. This should be very doable for Team Secret Academy, especially when it's slubbing down to 1 HP. If this is not a round win for Team Secret Academy, I don't know what's real anymore. And Jax, he closes it off, brings it back to 5-5. And we get ourselves another even scoreline. These games have been so close today.
I don't want it to get my hopes up in that regard, though. This is the thing, because yes, they've been close because it's come down to kind of a lot of the fundamentals, right? I think between these two, it's been a bit more fun. I'll be honest. Like, I think this is the most fun map we've actually had all evening, just because it feels like we haven't gone to something default, for example. So there's a bit more options when it comes to utility usage and what people are going to bring to the table. We've seen some Denari, we've seen some Skopos, we've seen a lot of mixy-matchy, right? A lot of mixy-matchy, a little bit of a pick-a-mix happening in terms of utility, and getting to see what people are doing with it, despite the fact that indeed it sees pressureless best of ones, essentially. You know, pressureless best of ones where you don't have to deep things too much. I really like what both these sides are doing, and the fact that this has gone to kind of even Stevens is a really good sign. It means that they're going to be a little bit more, I don't want to say like coherent as time goes on, but it does mean that like when they actually get to, did you just like levitate down?
Okay. I knew that was gonna happen. I could see it happening when it was stuck. I've got a standing desk.
Okay.
so it was down.
That completely threw me. I was like, why is Shram levitating? You know, I think it means that when it gets to playoffs, these might, you know, I really don't want to jinx it. Secret and Gaming Team could be quite interesting in playoffs because of that hab.
It could be quite interesting, and luckily, of course, we are going to get just throw the point overboard. It doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't ready for that. I'm sorry. That's on me. That's on me for not being ready for it.
I mean, your standing desk can only go up and down as fast as it can, right?
Exactly. I've had my weapon cast moment. Like, at least it hasn't collapsed. At least it hasn't collapsed.
That was terrifying.
So
good.
So good. His collapsed on podcast. So.
It was terrifying.
It has.
We went off air and it just exploded, and I thought like his
At
house
least it
was
was off air.
Yeah,
like
Honestly,
yeah.
that would have been content if it was on air.
yeah, it was literally as the broadcast ended, we just had a crash and all of his stuff was everywhere. It was insane. But that's been a good game to watch. It's like 5-5. I'm glad that's kind of to jump into what you were saying, Grace, about it being a really good and entertaining match. Cafe, it has been exciting, and I also want to correct my earlier point as well, because I heard you say the same thing, Hap, that when I was talking about Cafe not having a basement, I meant to say that it's one of the maps that doesn't have a basement, because Border and Skyscraper also don't have a basement, but that's okay. I just thought I'd correct that. But yeah, it's been a really good match to watch. I've been enjoying the way that we played. There's been a few times where I've seen LMs just hop in somewhere, and I'm like, how's he done that? He looked very hungry on that first attack, and it's really been like, can we keep up the pace? And they've been kind of going at each other, and I am excited to see where both these teams go.
That's exactly it. That's the point I was making, right? It's this idea. Again, I really don't want to jinx it because this happens every time in the T2 circuit. I could just sit here and sing the praises of a team, and then they'll turn around and play like they've all lost their pinky fingers and thumbs in the process somehow. And I'm just like, okay, cool. It's one of those things where this has already been quite fun. It's a pressureless best of one, and they're already really digging deeper. Again, they're using it as an opportunity for investigation. That's what you should be doing in the group stage, right? Yes, of course, seeding is important. We've all kind of discussed how important the seeding can be when it comes to that playoffs position. But at the same time, it's like, this is your investigation stage. This is where you really get to put the feelers out, work out what the other teams are about, work out how they play certain maps, kind of the vibe of how they can change things up. Again, teams that have been a little bit 1D are probably going to get real punished for that as time goes on. It's little things like that that you need to note these sides doing, especially when, you know, group stage ends and everyone's kind of flung into that playoffs bracket from both groups. It's not just the people in your own group that you have to worry about. You also need to be looking at the other group and being like, okay, so again, if you're Geek and Panahone right now, for example, you know, you've looked at those earlier matches from today of like Diavoli, of Good Intentions, and you're being like, okay, especially for Good Intentions and Project Zero, I think Good Intentions obviously being the main threat factor for Geek and Panahone based on what we saw in Rumble. You're kind of looking at that and you're being like, okay, how are Good Intentions actually playing around things? Of course, Good Intentions themselves weren't really showing too much, which I think was sensible for them really at this point. But it's just going to put everyone in like a nice little even playing field going into playoffs, where the teams who do their homework are ultimately going to be the ones who probably come out on top.
I think that's a great point, isn't it? I think as well as like to come back to we never got really a chance to mention it was that the tier 2 standings is that Team Secret they managed to lock in 110 points from Combine earlier on, obviously finishing second, and then Rumble they couldn't really get anything going with that. But then they've come back. They're looking a bit better. You've looked a little bit wobbly in a couple of rounds, but I think that's actually more on a testament of Gaming Team looking really good, I think, as opposed to, you know, earlier on we've seen a couple of mistakes getting made, but go on, Grace. You know what?
No, it's just like, I love this roster so much. Like, I was looking at it and I was like, ooh, we're cooking a little bit. And then just seeing them just play at the moment on Cafe, it's just like, oh my goodness. Again, we've seen incredible stuff from Denster, incredible stuff from Shed. As expected, you know, Varus leveling Leighton, they also could pick up the pieces when needed. I think this is such a nice roster. I'm really excited to see how they play through the rest of the tournament, because again, playing against Team Secret Academy, who really have to hit the ground running and are going to be really like pretty locked in about stuff, that's going to be a really nice benchmark for them, to be honest. And I feel like I've said this so much this competitive year with the T2 circuit, right? I've said this so much about rosters where I'm looking at it and I'm like, that is a dream team. Like, if I had to pick, like, there's so many players where it's like, if I had to kind of build a roster, I would be picking a lot of these players. It's the same with that Good Intentions roster. Like, if you want, like I've said that if you want to see a potential T1 team, look at that Good Intentions roster. I don't think anyone can really argue with that, especially given what we saw, you know, during Rumble playoffs. The same being said for a lot of these players, a lot of these rosters, even Gaming Team. You could argue, you know, there is a horizon with a little T1 sticker on it at some point. And again, when you see Denster play and the passion he has, and again, like you really want to see Shed get back up there. You want to see Sleben get up there. It's like you know that there's so much potential, and you just want to kind of light a fire under their butts a bit and be like, just go and do what I know you can do. Go and do what I know you're capable of doing. Excited to see how this goes, the rest of the map.
So man, we're ready to go back in. I'll keep my desk up this time in case it goes wrong again. But we're ready to go. I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye.
Thank you, Sham. Obviously, a minor bit of terror there to celebrate spooky season, as Sham is now levitating around their room. Excellent. 5-5 then, Hap.
Yes.
Only one team can hit match point first. Who do you think it's going to be?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. I think the team that gets 5 kills first.
That's such a cop-out. Okay. I'm going to steal that one. Everyone has to go at me for, like, not doing predictions half the time.
Sometimes you just gotta get creative with it.
Yeah.
How many favorite teams do you have?
To be fair, I didn't have
You have too many dream teams as well.
No, this is the problem I'm having this year. This
Yeah.
is exactly the point I was making. Like, previously, there'd be specific players or, like, 1 or 2 rosters where I'd be like, yes, okay. All my cards on the table for these guys. This competitive year of T2, I've been like backflipping with excitement half the time seeing some of these
You'd be
rosters.
such a bad team manager because you just have 20 people for every role.
Oh, 100%.
You just end up with a team 100
I
people that
would,
you're all for
honestly.
salary.
Honestly, this is why I've never done team management. This is why I've
Yeah.
never done team management, because
I
just
can see
couldn't.
why,
I couldn't
yeah.
pick. I could not. like coaching is fine. Like analysis is fine, but when it comes to management and picking, no, like just leave me out of that equation. I'm not doing it.
Ending up with 19 reserve teams. Shed! First to fall, LMs gets that kill, and you see Leighton instantly wanting to find some response. He has been drone out, and that means he's forced to rotate off. However, player onto the balcony out there misses the opportunity twice. Leighton allowed to rotate back out with his life. Drone's being put in position to make sure that if he decides to go back up, they will be caught. At least seen by one of the members of Team Secret Academy. And you see within the camera switching that we saw from LMs just now, just checking all those cams whilst the rest of his team is moving through. That is some true team play as well. Have that man advantage. They have the opportunity to reach that 6 mark first. With that comes a privilege, trying to lock it down in regulation.
A bit of a quiet before the storm moment from Secret. They're really getting that info. They're really setting up this util, opening up a little bit of a rotation here as well. Onto that red stairs. Gives you more options, and again, gives you more angles to kind of play around. Duck and dive, weave. There we go. The hatches will be opened as well. The team needs to be careful here. Again, nicely spread out. One person really on site right now. The rest of them kind of playing more on VIP bar. Also got Leighton and Coat. A lot of pressure above though. You have to be careful for it. Again, pressure on Denster's shoulders, not only having to cover that white stairs, but also the drop down into freezer if people try and sneak in.
Denster just a second ago, afraid of any drones to being around. Sleben as well, keeping his head out. The grenade will stop the ROUs from being able to be used. Giselle to be flying right afterwards as well. It's going to deal a little bit of damage. A second grenade pushes Denster back, but he's still in a position where he can fight. The smoke canister is masking the plant from Frenchie. In the meantime, Secret Academy, 45 seconds on the clock in a 3v5 situation to try and lock this off and bring it to a 6-5. Sleben rotating around. You see Denster as well trying to retake the white stairs, but a drone gives away his position, and as one of his teammates falls and he goes quite low on HP, it's only up to Sleben now, and he won't come far either. Team Secret Academy are the ones that reach 6 first and now have the opportunity to lock it off.
Great stuff from them. Cool, calm, and calculated. Again, I really do think getting that initial pick really helped them, because at that point, yes, you put more pressure on these players that are pretty, again, yes, they're close to each other, but they have specific things they need to cover, right? They have specific things that they need to lock in on. And that can sometimes be a bit tricky. Fast is the layout of Cafe, to be honest. Secret, can they secure this here? Can they get that 7-5 win? Oh, they dropped the ball here. In for gaming team, I don't think they're deep-seeing this too much right now. They know they're on that slight pressure, but the vibes will be high. They're not doing anything too obtuse either. They're not reinventing the wheel here. They're playing very standard. 4 C4s in pocket as well, though. That's going to be a nice thing to see. Really wonder if they're going to start playing around this util a little bit more.
And the Valkyrie cameras with those nitro cells are going to be quite lethal.
Oh, yes.
Given the fact that we're playing in mining dining, Piano is going to be the prime place to be for the attack. To try and work on their verticality. Now, the bad news is there's nothing there to be playing vertical with. Maybe the shotgun on Linko, but besides that, they're not really going to be opening up. So those nitros might not really come into play the way that they wanted them to. Instead, we'll have to maybe focus on more horizontal kind of approaches.
Maybe where they just apply that phantom pressure again on the windows, we'll see. Does sometimes benefit you. Make sure to check out. It's such a tiny check on the checklist, but it's an important one nonetheless. You don't want people to be getting confident just waltzing down the corridor. You want them to be mindful, always thinking in the back of their head that you could appear at any point. The old psychological warfare. Xkara should open this wall pretty quickly. I don't think there's anything the other side. Maybe a mute jammer, but that would be a waste of mute jammer. So yes, indeed it is going to open. That'll give a nice entry point into Christmas. Especially with that rappel coming in as well. Where we need to try and dislodge Sleben, just tucked there on the Azami. A little bit of backup coming out from Rauer as well. But at least they're trying to play together. They're trying to play around these duo pairings. There we go, Sleben deals with Frenchie. Linku has traded him out. Is Rauer able to do anything? No, he's not.
And that's just a one-on-one trade, but losing those Kiba regenerations is going to be hurting them quite a bit. I mean, Frenchie already opened up the hatch. And, you know, in terms of utility, he's done his job in that matter. Everything from here on. Sorry, not open up the hatch. Open up towards Piano, of course. 4 and 4 RUs again going out. Actually, not RUs, sorry. The Candela's going out. Trying to go for those flashbangs. Leighton in a crucial position. If he manages to get this kill, he's going to be absolutely huge for it, and he will find a kill into Alems. Marto low on HP. Linko is finding himself somewhat tagged up as well. And it seems like overtime is coming towards us once more. As the shotgun of Linko is working on that verticality, he's not going to be able to find too much as of yet, as Jax is on the horizontal level. But shotguns are everywhere as Linko walks right into one. And as the final gunfight commences, Jax finds one, but as he mags dumps, he gets shut down by Shed, who just walks in right afterwards. He kind of gave up in that point. And overtime is on us.
Yeah, it is.
Best of 3 in rounds to decide which of these two teams is taking the points home.
I would have been so disappointed if we didn't get overtime between these two, because this has been very thoroughly entertaining. Again, still very unpredictable in how things are going to go. Love the fact the gaming team really chose to play more around those kind of duo pairings at times, albeit at the start it wasn't, you know, effective at immediately dealing with the trade. They were still able to have pressure on that defense. They were still able to push back against what Secret was starting to clear. Into kitchen now to get things started. Gaming team staying on their defense for now. Again, this is where they need to be mindful. Last time that opener came in from Secret and gaming team were left a little bit kind of stranded from one another. Too much to focus on. Utility-wise, it's a little bit different. We got those yokais, and I do respect that. I do appreciate that. I think if you can play this on the offsite and play around denial, especially when you've got the Tubero, especially when you've got the Vulcans of that Goyo as well. Just slow things down, hold them back for as long as you can. Again, all this utility implies the gaming team wants to play around the timer a bit more effectively here. But that's where you have to be mindful of your positioning. This is where you can't get caught off guard by Secret Academy.
So both teams don't want to be catch off guard now. Caught off guard. Zlem's entering from the top floor. Link already in there, of course. Jack's waiting for any potential runouts to come in from the bakery door, but none are being hinted at right now. Seems like gaming team are wanting to play this close, wanting to play this nicely within the ground floor itself. Don't even think that there's any roamer around on the first floor. That gives opportunity for them to start opening up verticalities. Start isolating out these players. And to see if they can get an entry kill yet once more on the side of Team Secret Academy. As gaming team is waiting patiently for the moves to be made that they have to reply to. The first minute completely passed. There's still no one close to be getting into a gunfight.
Kind of like they're at the halfway point. Yeah, you're right. No bodies have dropped. No blood has been spilled. Loads of breathing space being given to Secret though. Finding their way finally through the map. Starting to open up these hatches. Starting to try and clean the util. Maybe not actually. Twitch drone getting dealt with. Ninku having a little bit of a peek, seeing where things are. Should be able to spot up the yokai. So that's massive actually. Secret should know that yokais are in play. Should have been able to spot those out. And that to them will spell, actually guys, we need to get a bit of a jog on. Took us half the round to clear the top floor and get to that middle and start to set up around opening things up on the site. We can't dilly-dally any longer. Toxic Babes being sent out from VIP. Again, standard protocol. You have to be mindful for it. Cutting off that line of sight. We might see a bit of a wiggly worm action from Linku. He is just trying to contest against Denster here, but Denster has the shotgun. Denster goes a bit bulky here. This could be massive. Plant will be attempted. Where are those yokais? Shed using a nade, trying to open up and get aggressive with those gunfights. It's going to allow them to get that plant down late in a round. What a piece, but goodness me, it's still a post plant. They could potentially hold on to this. Maybe not. Sleben gets it on Tomato, and Frenchie will desperately try to find a pick. Finds one, can't find the follow-up. Post plant secured. Fuser will be there. Team kills potentially coming. Oh my goodness.
Daunting.
Yeah. I felt threatened then.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
That was personal.
Great little round there on both sides, to be honest. Secret for being like, yes, we cannot dilly-dally. They have yokais. Let's just try and get stuck in. I held my breath momentarily because I was like, Shed's contesting someone. He's used a nade and he's trying to go for this gunfight. He's not on the yokais at all. He's not on the yokais.
I think the yokais were actually shot because they were pinged out by IQ before, and I think a grenade might have taken them out.
Potentially, but I don't know if anyone was in the right position for that. We'll go back and check later.
They could have rolled it through the hatch and then
Secret Academy. I think that's a sensible thing to do at this point. And again, I do really respect the fact that people are trying to use the timeouts, because even if the best of ones are quote unquote pressureless, you still have to try and use everything in your arsenal, right?
Winning is all that matters. And you know, yes, you're trying to win now, but you're also trying to gauge your opponent. But you're always playing to win. If you're not playing to win, then you're kind of not in the right place, right? Like, if you're competing, you're playing to win. You're not playing to get as much information out of your opponent as you possibly can. So, even though the pressure might not be there as much as it will be next week, these teams are still giving it everything to make sure that they are victorious at the end of this matchup. And gaming team is suddenly finding themselves in the better position to do so. Needing one more round out of the next two. For a secret, they need 2 out of the next 2. But this game has been pretty back and forth so far, so it could honestly still go either way.
Wall secured.
I don't know why I can like sense the spawn peak happening, but I really hope it doesn't. No, it's not. Thank goodness.
Sixth sense going.
No, it's one of those things sometimes with Secret where you just know they're just gonna be like, you know what we need to do? We need to jump out this window or run out this doorway or nade to the garage wall.
They could still do that.
They could still do that, right?
It's cafe, is there nothing stopping them?
Yeah. Let's see how this goes though. Again, they've got the Skopos themselves and they've got the Yokais themselves, so there is a potential of them wasting a lot of time. Maybe they just caught the top of the head of someone and tried to go for it, but no cigar, unfortunately. That could have been a nice little opener. Especially if Motto was able to get it and then jump down. That's the key factor here, really. If you're being Motto right now, you're trying to find that opener, you get your one and you hightail it out of there.
Reload. Dread mine on.
Like turning off. Linko just holding tight. We've seen this spot work before as soon as they walk through. You can also expect them to not just, you know, take the same route twice. Actually, considering the fact that we're attacking the basement. Phone call from Sleben would alert them right away as well. Actually, no, maybe not. Mute jammers being around, of course, stop them from being called in the first place. And Marteau. Like, they're just playing on contact here. Marteau's gonna have to try and rotate out, but he's being stopped by the actual call. Why did you go for the swing at that point? Just wait until it runs out. Leighton finds a kill as well. Linko finally gets a trade, but it is a 2-kill for 1 scenario in favor of Gaming Team. As finally another trade comes in, but Sleben already entered the building at that moment in time. And Jackson Frenchie, the last two standing, protecting the hopes and dreams of Team Secret Academy of winning this match. As the scans are coming through, mute jammers, bulletproof cameras, and more utility is being found. Of course, the main hunt is for those yokai drones. Those pesky drones that Jax gets to control that stops this plant from happening and can stall effectively up to 15 seconds per drone. That's what is being looked for now. He's hiding at the default plant spot right next to a mute jammer. And with 26 seconds left on the clock, I mean, a push needs to come from somewhere, Grace, and the question is where it's coming from.
So, but this is where you also have to be mindful if you're Secret Academy. You don't want to give up too much space or give away your body. Again, this is the issue. You're isolated. You allow these 1 versus 1s to happen. Frenchie now has to try and not only deny the plant, but clutch out a 1 versus 3. Will he be able to find some bodies? Finds one, swings the corner, gets the second! Just has to worry about Denster now, but doesn't know where he may be lurking. He does have a little bit of a lifeline here, and that Denster is very much trapped in this corner. Those bullets spraying through will allow Frenchie to know exactly where he is! He gets his dub, secures the round, post plant secured, and we're going all the way through.
What a clutch to come through, as well as we head for another round 15 to decide which of these two teams is winning this match. Gaming Team back to defense, Team Secret Academy onto attack. As Marteau deciding to go aggressive there, gets punished for a trade and trade and trade further. As we head into a 3v1 position. I mean, you want to go for the cover is fully understandable, but both being picked up is just so unfortunate at that moment in time. And it's suddenly a 1v1. As it is now a 1-to-1 for rounds. Whoever wins this takes the 3 points.
Reloading.
Goodness me. I am calling this match of the day, if I do say so myself.
Oh, we have another match coming up, Grace.
We do, and again,
Hold
it's
your
gonna
horses.
be a nice one. It's Kike versus Panahorne. Again, another rematch between those two, and that is gonna be spicy. But I just think that again, this is two rosters that have that kind of redemption line going, and it really has been fun to see them take the gloves off with one another.
Deploying jammer.
However ominous gaming team want to be when it comes to the team kill potential.
Sniper strike.
I don't think they want to go for that now. I think, you know, the
Fair
time of
enough,
team
it's not
kills
the
is
time.
over. The time of winning the round is nigh. I'm very much aware of the fact that there is a player present on that window. Rotations already came through though, Slevin. I want to stick around. And I think in these matches where you're finding yourself going all the way to 7-7, no matter how much pressure or how much pressure is not on this game, you just want to win it. Losing 8-7 might be worse than losing 7-3. Because, like, you're so close, so back and forth. You don't want to be losing out on this matchup right now. Not after you've played this for so long, for like over an hour. You just want to get that win in the bag.
It's been a bit of a slog for both sides, especially the rehosts as well. And try and secure it now. Focus on the rest of the games this weekend. At least they've both learned a lot from this experience, and at least we've got to see a little bit of cafe action. Secret making their way slowly but surely through the map, and again, only Rao really sticking around with Sleben to contest it upstairs. No, Rao's indeed dropped down. Sleben may do the same. Could potentially get someone off guard from that white stairs once they enter the white hallway. Verticality is being established for free here. Lem's getting away with daylight robbery. That hammer working overtime. Marto on the hunt is aware that someone may have been lurking around these corners. Wants to try and find them. Wants that opener. Hungry for it.
And left. Everything's on the line for this game. And all 10 players still standing. The timer is slowly starting to tick down. Nitrocell pops. No one at home. 3 more opportunities left. The second one has just been prepared. It's been tossed up. Hasn't detonated yet. 45. Counting down. Still all 10 players standing. They are close to the site. They know exactly where they need to be. It's just that they're not aware of where these defenders exactly are and what they need to do to get in position. As the pre-fires are starting to come through, Leighton going quite low, the plant is being attempted and Denster will go down. This is the moment for Team Secret Academy, 45 seconds counting in their favor as they're in a 5v3 situation. Make that 2. About to clutch it out, Rawa and Shed, the last 2 fighting for their team. As they find the very first, but there's still 4 more to take home. And as the time slowly starts to slip away, so does the opportunity for the plant. And Team Secret Academy, they win this matchup with an 8-7 hard-fought victory.
That's very hard fought indeed, because that really could have gone either side. A great start for both sides, to be honest. And again, I think that VOD and that game in general is going to give them a lot of things to look at in time for tomorrow and Sunday. And of course, the rest of this group stage. Of course, yes, there is no elimination.